to our integrity. It talks to the very core of who we are. And oftentimes we don't take into consideration the importance of not looking at how we feel when we wake up in the morning. It's really around how are we impacting those that are around us. Because when we walk in with a certain level of confidence. We walk in with a certain level of authority. And I know I'm aging myself, but I am going for a second, because if we think back to the 80s, when we had that commercial, if you don't look good, we don't look good, beat Al Sassoon. See, I'm not going to sing it, because if I sing it, y'all gonna leave, and I know my co-panelists have a lot of great things that they want to share. But one of the things that we have to recognize is that if we don't look good, if you don't look good, we don't look good. So sometimes we have to get our minds and our thoughts outside of ourselves and recognize that we're impacting more people. We're impacting something greater than just how we feel in that particular moment. So even when we show up, oftentimes before we even open up our mouths, what happens? People are looking at our external, right? They're looking at, oftentimes when I was interviewing someone, before they even had an opportunity to open up their mouth, I'm saying to the receptionist, what do they look like? What is it that they're saying? How are they presenting themselves? And this is what we have to understand, that when we look at our career, we have to get back to that place. And honestly, I'm not just talking about the employee. I'm talking about if you're self-employed. I'm talking about if you're a business owner. I'm talking about if you're an investor, because I am all of those things. So I got you. I understand that sometimes you just don't feel like dressing up. You don't feel like putting on the makeup. But you got to understand that your image is also not just tied to whether or not you can move up. It's not just tied to, if you can get a different job. It's not just about tying it to, if you're going to be a successful entrepreneur. It's tied to your finances. Because people, when I said the line, if you don't look good, we don't look good. Who is the we? The we is your brand. The we is your community. The we is your culture. The we is all those people that remember that Rockwell song, I always feel like somebody's watching me. Because why? People are watching you. So that am I really going to feel comfortable referring you to my business partner if I don't know how you're going to show up? If I can't trust that when you're in my presence, even as an employer, if they're looking at, wow, I'm not basing it on your skills and ability. I just want to know, can I rely on you looking the part at a meeting, looking the part when you have to show up when I'm not there? Because oftentimes when I worked at Essence Magazine, we never knew who was going to walk the halls. We just do always be ready. Always be ready for that person that was just happened to be on 42nd Street, that just popped in because Essence on Times Square was a place to want to visit. And we had to be always ready for the unknown. That's the diligence. That's the tenacity that we have to have each and every day when we are embarking out. Remember our grandmothers in the home, yes, they would wear their house dresses, but when the moment that they stepped outside of their houses, they were always dressed in their Sunday best. We have to have that mindset. So oftentimes our image, and I know that my co-panelists, they're going to go into specific details because there's a wealth of knowledge here. But I really wanted to make sure that I came to you from the bigness, the largeness of understanding that in our colleges today, they're not being taught how to dress for the workplace. We have a responsibility to go, no matter how we feel, no matter what it is that we're focused on. We have to sometimes recognize that others are watching us, and we may be the only greatness that somebody who's walking the halls, somebody who's sitting in the cubicle next to you, that client that you're a solution for, you're the only greatness that they may come into contact with. So these are the reasons why when it comes to our career, our image matters. Our image matters for our culture. Our image matters for the community. Our image matters for the next generation. Our image matters even for us, because after we finish solving the problem for somebody else, then our finances will be impacted, and then we can do greater good in the community because our career are flourishing. So when we look good, guess what? we feel good, we walk with a certain air, we walk with a certain confidence. And what ends up happening is sometimes we can walk in a room and not even have to open up our mouths because we know that we're the light. We know that we have something to offer somebody else because that's what our purpose is. So in my book, yes, I talk about the internal pieces of understanding our purpose, understanding our vision, but sometimes we have to work from the outside in.
Thank you.